What's going on, guys? It's your boy Bo, and we're back with another video today. In today's video, I want to give you a little rundown, maybe a little tips and tricks for the chaser and seeker role specifically. I may touch on a few other roles, but for my chasers and seekers out there, we're going to give you a little pro tip and little tricks and little glitches that you can do in the game to kind of give yourself an advantage. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright guys, so we are now in the game. So the tips and tricks that I'm going to give, are more specifically targeted towards the chasers and seekers right now. I mean, everybody has to play a chaser, so you'll at least get something from this video. I mean, I might touch a little bit on the keeper. Beater, nah, we're not even going to go into that. So let's start off with a little tip. So starting off, what I actually learned today, a little tip, if you will. Vertical camera tilt, I play on the lowest. Some people play on the max, depending on what preference you are. Basically what this does is whenever you tilt your character up and down, your camera is also going to do that. I don't like as much movement. I prefer to keep mine real low because I want my character to move and not my camera, because if you're a seeker, you already know your camera's going crazy as it is, right? So I want to try to keep this as low as possible. The other one, I actually just changed this around today. I turned my camera zoom to my right stick, and I turned off my rear cam because you don't really use rear cam that much. So your camera zoom is actually going to zoom out your character a little bit. Like he's going to be a little bit smaller, but you're going to be able to see a lot bigger area. So you'll be able to really watch out for those bludgers, watch out for those bumps. Kind of know about the characters around you. And we'll go into that. I'll actually get on the field and I'll show you some of this stuff in person. So going into more of the accolades for the characters, what I run for my Seeker is a 055. Like I said, we went over this in yesterday's video, and I kind of went over my reasoning for this. So it's more targeted towards bumps and filling up that meter when you're farther away from the snitch. Now my chaser, I run a 226. This is more targeted towards dealing damage and kind of getting that extra little boost where you need it. Nothing crazy, I just like that extra little boost. So like I said, now the next clip we're actually going to go on the pitch, and I'll show you some little tips and tricks as a chaser to kind of increase your game. Alright guys, we are now in our practice area. I'm going to be the only chaser on my team, going against 3 on the other team. So what we're going to work on first, a little tip and trick, is the tackling ability. If you really find yourself struggling with tackles, rotating around, so hopefully this tip can help you out. So let's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there, I'm going to score, and I'll show you the rotation that you need to be doing after you make that goal. Alright guys, so we are here. As you can see, my camera is a little bit more zoomed out than usual. Usually it's right here. That little joystick, that thing that we changed earlier, makes it to where you can see a little bit more around you. So it's a little bit easier to kind of see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and score, and then I'll show you the rotation. What you're going to want to do after you score is essentially just rotate back to about midfield and kind of sit off to the side. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Go ahead and score. And I have my focus cam still on. I'm just going to rotate back to about mid area, somewhere right in this area, let them get the quaffle. And you always want to tackle from the side, and I'll show you why. So if you go to tackle from the side or at an angle, it's a little bit easier, because if you don't, I'll show you what happens next. So if you don't manage to land that tackle, I'll show you what happens, right? Alright, so let's assume I don't land this tackle. I kind of blow right by him. Boom. See, now I can still kind of catch up to him. It's not a lost cause at that point. I can still manage, just do a quick little turn. You can catch right back up to him. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and score. Like I said, I'm going to rotate back. Now, I'm going to show you what a lot of people are doing. They're not rotating back far enough. Like, they'll be up here trying to, do whatever. And then what they'll do is they'll miss the tackle, and then look, they have a wide open field, and you can't catch up to them. You're too far back. So you want to try to stay away from those head-on tackles. You really want to, tackle them from the side. That way, if you do miss that tackle, you can just turn and go, you can go get them. It's no big deal. So now when it comes down to those pressure situations, like let's just say you just can't get the quaffle up the field. It's constantly down by your goal. You're struggling to get it up the field. What I really like, another pro tip would be to steal the quaffle, or just get your hands on the quaffle and immediately just send it up the field. Just get rid of it, kind of let your team get back and kind of resituate themselves, and that way you slowly but surely you're working your way up the pitch. So you're gonna grab the ball, like, so, oh no, they're pressuring me, throw it as far as you can, let your team reset, and you're good to go. All right, now another tip let's go into a little bit of the drifting. So drifting, as you know, you just pretty much just keep your momentum going any direction you want, as I'm doing right now. Drifting has a lot of benefits, especially when it goes to shooting. So if I were to grab the quaffle here, what you can do is you can fake out the keeper if you want to, so you can do a little drift. So now you have you're keeping your momentum, but he doesn't really know which goal you're going to score in, right? So if you were, I mean, you could get real crazy with it. Here, I'll show you a little fadeaway that I like to do, kind of keep everybody on their toes. Um, this is what I like to do. I don't know. It's just something I find fun. You can go around the back and kind of hit him with a nice little. Oh, I totally messed that up. So go around the back, hit him with a nice little drift, and you can kind of get it in there. Well, most of the time. I was a little low right there. So like I said, what you can do is kind of drift going out and throw that thing in there. Most of the time they don't see it coming because they're trying to figure out what you just did. You just went around the back, because most people don't spend a lot of time in the back zone. That's just a little something extra. Alright, now as far as the seeker goes, let me change position. Let me go over to a seeker. Actually, hang on. So now as far as the seeker goes, what you can do, you really want to prioritize those bumps. If you're running the class that I gave you, you're really going to want to prioritize the bumps and stay behind the other seeker. So if you're staying behind the other seeker, you can kind of keep your eye on him. It's a little bit easier to track him, and you can still gain Snitch Meter even though you're pretty far away. And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't realize that you don't have to go through the rings. Like, the rings don't give you your Snitch Meter. What gives you your Snitch Meter is how close you are to the snitch, and how, like, you have to be within a certain vicinity. Once you're in that vicinity for so long, your snitch, you know, your meter goes up. So if I'm back here, another little tip, like I said, another little tip, if you're playing controller and your secondary action is this left stick, all you have to do if you're running the class that I gave is click that left stick in whenever you're about 10 meters away from anybody. You'll actually get a prompt to go ahead and bump them. That prompt will come up by your character, and no matter where they're at, if you click that left stick in, it will automatically bump for you. So we'll go ahead, I'll give you a little example right now. So if I go back to the game, see I have that little prompt next to me. All I have to do is click it, and he'll automatically go up and just bump that guy. And if you're running the class, not only will you steal his Snitch Meter, you also do damage as well. So if I wait till it gets closer, click the bump, and I do a little bit of damage, and while I steal his Snitch Meter. So when it comes to understanding the snitch, what it does is it'll always go from end to end. It'll go from one end to the other. I would say 1 out of 10 times it'll actually like loop through middle and go back to the direction. But as always, I mean, I'll give you an example right here. If we follow the snitch, it'll always go to one end to the other. So if we just follow it, it's probably going to curve left right here. Yep, curve left, and it's going to go back to the other end. So kind of stay with it. As long as you stay with it, it'll go all the way to the other end most of the time. And then it'll curve, and it'll go back to the other end. So these long straightaways that you see, like right here, this is the real time to kind of capitalize on gaining that Snitch Meter. Because most of the time on the straightaways is when people will actually catch the snitch. It's rare that people will actually catch it around a curve when it's starting to curve back or do a 180 and go the other way. So now I feel my Snitch Meter, and we're on that straightaway. So 99% of the time you can probably catch it right here on the straightaway. So let's go ahead and grab it real quick. Well, it looks like my other seeker, for whatever reason, there's 2 seekers. I don't know what that glitch is. But he grabbed the snitch right there. So like I said, most of the time, you know, you're going to grab it on the straightaway. The snitch is programmed to go one end to the other and then back. So it's just going to keep doing that. Like 1 out of 10 times, it'll cut through middle field and go back, but that's super rare. I wouldn't even count on it to do that. So as long as you can, you know, back and forth, if you got that down, you can pretty much track it wherever it goes. Alright, so for my why is there 2 keepers? I don't know why it's glitched out right now. So for the keeper, you really don't ever want to play keeper, if I'm being honest. If you're a chaser main, you really don't want to sit here and play keeper the entire time. If you're a chaser main, 99% of the time your black keeper can do the work if you're a good enough chaser, right? So the only time you should ever really switch is if the quaffle comes down on your end of the field. You know, if you really need that extra little help, or you get blown by as a chaser, and you can't catch up to them, yeah, switch to your keeper, see if you can help out the team and block that shot for them. But most of the time, you really don't need to play keeper. I mean, if I'm being honest. All right, so another little tip that you can do. I don't know if a lot of people understand this, but whenever you actually get the oh, whenever you actually get the quaffle, oh, I got it right now. You can control which direction you kick it. So if I want to kick it left, all I have to do is just hold left on the left stick, and it'll go left, and vice versa on the right. So you can kind of control which teammates you kick it to. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I've had to explain it a few times to some of my rando teammates. But yeah, that's essentially. I just got it again. So if I wanted to kick right, I just hold right, and he'll kick it to the right. So that's another little cheeky thing that you can do if you really want to figure out who gets it. Maybe call out with your teammates, like, "Hey, I'm over on your left side. If you want to kick it left, I'll get it and take it," or vice versa. All right, but yeah, guys, that is little tips and tricks that I can give you as of right now. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing out or whatever it is. So I can't really explain much unless I'm in the zone and kind of let you know what goes inside my head. But as just a starter, I feel like those are a little couple tips and tricks to help you kind of understand and get a little advantage on the game. Especially, since everybody's playing chaser, those chaser tips will really help improve your game. Just don't tackle head on, tackle from the side if you can, and always back up. Don't stay close to the goal after you score, or even if the quaffle's down there. Don't ever stay like close to the goal. Honestly, don't even go within scoring distance if you're not ready to score. Stay back to about halfway, maybe a quarter to halfway of the field. Go for those side tackles, and I think you'll really see a great improvement on your game. But yeah, guys, until next time, this has been your boy Bo, and if there's anything else you want to see, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you on the Quidditch pitch.